Hi everybody, welcome to engVid.com. I'm Adam. In today's video, I want to share with you some expressions, some common expressions in English. But what makes these particular expressions interesting is where they came from, their source. So most of these are from either superstition or from the Bible, believe it or not. People quote the Bible quite often. Many people don't realize they're quoting the Bible, but they are. So first of all, what is a superstition? A superstition is a type of belief that is not really based on anything. It's just a story that happened that was popular many years ago, and that parents told their kids, who told their kids, who told their kids, and people start believing it even though there's no scientific reason to. I'll give you an example. Some people believe that if you break a mirror, you will have 7 years of bad luck. Some people think that if you see a black cat crossing in front of you, you should spit or you will have bad luck. So these are types of superstitions. So I'm going to give you a few expressions that are based on superstition that people use all the time. We're going to start with knock on wood. So I don't have any wood here, but I would knock on wood after I say something positive. So I say, oh, I think my son is going to be accepted into Harvard, knock on wood. Now, if there's a piece of wood somewhere, most people will knock and say the expression, knock on wood. Because what they want to do, they don't want to jinx what they just said. To jinx something is to bring bad luck on it. So you want to avoid the bad luck, so you knock on wood and then you're safe. Why? Who knows? Some old story became a superstition and people accepted it. Hail Mary. Hail Mary is from religion, not necessarily the Bible. It's a name of a prayer. Hail Mary, full of grace, etc., etc. Now, what's interesting about this is I'm not actually talking about the prayer. I'm talking about football, American football. And the Hail Mary pass is something that is popular in the sport. A Hail Mary pass generally happens near the end of a game or near the end of a half, and one team is behind in points. So they're running out of time. They don't have enough time to slowly move up the field, so they try a Hail Mary pass, which means trying to pass all the way across the field and hope that the catcher, the person who's supposed to catch the ball, catches it and gets the touchdown. Now, this started in the NFL, in football. Now people use this anytime that they need to do something desperate. In business, in social life, anything. When you're running out of chances, when you're running out of time and you're desperate, you'll do a Hail Mary. You'll basically fire everybody to save money. You'll hire somebody, a professional, even though he costs too much, but it's a Hail Mary pass. You need to do something desperate in order to score the touchdown, in order to succeed in what you're trying to do. So good expression. To have deja vu. Now, technically not English, but we use it in English all the time. To have deja vu is to think you've seen something before, or you've done something before, or you've experienced something before, and when you're doing it now, it seems very familiar, like you've done it before, maybe even in a past life. So in a past life, you ask the prettiest girl in school to go on a date, and now you're going up to her, and for some reason you feel like, wait, I've done this before. Maybe you're a little bit more nervous, maybe you're a little bit less nervous, but it seems very familiar to you, so you go ahead and do it. If some of you have seen the movie The Matrix, you remember when the cat moved in front of Neo and then the cat moved again? That is deja vu. But we use it in everyday life when something seems very familiar. A Bible thumper. This is not from the Bible, but we relate it to the Bible. A Bible thumper is a person who... This is thumping, basically hitting. So he keeps hitting the Bible. Basically, we say this about a person who tries to push a religion on other people, or somebody who always quotes from the Bible. So if you go to certain places in the US, for example, there are a lot of Bible thumpers, people who are always talking about what the Bible says, or that everybody should go to church and study the Bible and stuff like that. Not the best word, but sometimes you'll hear people using this about politicians who are a little bit too religious, who want people to do things a certain way, or somebody who's a little bit too good, like doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't do anything. Oh, he's probably a Bible thumper because he lives by the Bible. So that's an expression you might hear as well. Murphy's Law. Now, technically it's not a real law, but Murphy's Law states that if anything bad can happen, it probably will happen. So people usually say this after something bad has happened. So I was on my way to a job interview, and on my way I got a flat tire, and I missed the job interview and I didn't get the job. And I told my friend about it, and he goes, well, Murphy's Law, what are you going to do? Basically, too bad, bad luck. Nothing you can do about it. But people often quote this law. If something bad can happen, it probably will. And a very common expression, and especially in business situations, the blind leading the blind. So a blind person obviously can't lead another blind person because neither of them knows where they're going. So in business, if you have somebody like a manager who's not very good at his job, but he is responsible for training new employees who don't know what's going on because they're new, we say, oh, look, the blind leading the blind. So both of them are going to fail. So we're saying that both of them don't know what they're doing. But the blind is the first one. The second one is the one who needs to learn something and following the one who doesn't know how to teach. The writing is on the wall. So when we say the writing is on the wall, it means it's very easy to assume something is going to happen. It's a very strong prediction. So I see a coworker, let's say I go to business again. A coworker is fighting with the boss. So like the next time it happens, everybody's saying, she shouldn't do that. I mean, the writing's on the wall. She's going to get fired soon. Right? It's very obvious what is going to happen. Very easy to predict what is going to happen based on what is happening now. So if somebody says the writing is on the wall, it's already the future is already understood. Basically, the prediction is already clear. Next, chasing rainbows or chasing a pot of gold. Basically, technically they actually go together. You're chasing a rainbow to find the pot of gold. But people say like he's chasing rainbow or he's chasing a pot of gold. Now, before I get into that, let me introduce you to leprechaun. Leprechaun. This is from Irish mythology. The leprechaun is like a little guy who chases after the rainbow. So he thinks at the end of the rainbow, there's a pot of gold. So people who are chasing a pot of gold, or people who are chasing the rainbow, or people who chase the leprechaun are trying to get something, but they are fantasizing. It's not realistic. They're not going to get that thing they want. So a person, let's say for example, a person has absolutely limited or very, very basic understanding of computers. He likes computers. He likes to go on the computer and do stuff, but he doesn't know programming. He doesn't know hardware. He doesn't know software. He just likes computers. So this person thinks, oh, you know what? I should apply to MIT, or I should apply to the University of Waterloo in Canada. These are like, in the whole world, these are like two of the top schools for computer science in the world. So this guy obviously is not going to be accepted. He knows nothing about computers. The people who are going to these schools can already build computers. They're just going to learn even more things. So we say he's applying to MIT. He's chasing rainbows. Means he's chasing a dream that he will never find. He will never reach. A fly in the ointment. You'll actually hear this a lot in movies with a good guy and a bad guy. The good guy is always the fly in the ointment. The bad guy has a plan. he's going to take over the world, or he's going to steal $1 billion, or he's going to do something bad. And then the good guy comes and just does one little thing, and that one little thing destroys the whole plan of the bad guy. So a fly in the ointment is something very small, maybe very minor, but it's bad enough to ruin everything, to ruin the plans, to ruin whatever it is you're making. So actually, if you want to think more literal, think of soup. You made a beautiful, delicious soup, chicken soup, let's say, and a fly fell in. Now, personally, I would take the fly out and eat my soup anyway. But a lot of people would just throw out the whole pot of soup because the fly made it dirty. One little thing ruined the whole pot of soup. So all kinds of people, all kinds of ways. Oh, sorry, I have one more. Fall by the wayside. I had to put it up here because I ran out of room. If something falls by the wayside, it means a couple of meanings. One, people just gave up on it. This is from the Bible, by the way, and fly in the ointment and blind leading the blind. These are all from the Bible, direct quotes. Fall by the wayside. So in the Bible, you should plant seeds in the land. And even if some of the seeds fall to the side, that's okay. The birds will come and eat them and everybody's happy. If something falls by the wayside, it means you either gave up on it or just forgot about it, or it just, didn't catch up. So some students, even though they try hard, they can't keep up, and the teacher must continue with the program. So some of the students might fall by the wayside. That's unfortunate, but the majority of the class will continue on and succeed and graduate. Those that fall by the wayside will have to figure out something else to do. Or the company had a plan to introduce some new policies, but everybody got busy, things got distracting, and that idea just fell by the wayside. It was just forgotten about or given up on. So there you go. So some good expressions here. Again, these are used quite regularly. It's good to understand what they mean, where they came from. Again, a lot of people don't even know it's from the Bible or from superstition. They just say it, but it's good to have a little bit of a understanding of some of these expressions. Anyway, if you have any questions about these, please go to engVid.com and ask me in the comment section. There's also a quiz. You can test your understanding of these expressions. And that's it. If you liked the video, I hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ring the little bell there. This will give you notifications of future videos. And come back soon. I'll give you some more interesting English expressions. See you then. Bye-bye.